Far beyond the stars, in the vast reaches of space, a great council of alien races gathered. This was the Galactic Council, made up of many different species from many different worlds. They had come together to keep peace in the galaxy. Wars and conflicts had once torn the stars apart, but now, thanks to the Council, most battles had ended. Diplomacy and respect were their tools, and the galaxy was calmer than it had been in centuries. The Council's chambers were enormous, a huge, shining dome filled with light and voices from hundreds of species. They all spoke in their own ways, but a translator device made every word clear to every listener. The Council met to discuss problems and make decisions that affected many worlds. One of the species that always caught their attention was humanity, the people from Earth. Humans were a young species compared to others, still growing and learning how to live with others in space. The Council had watched them for a long time. Humans were known for being friendly and kind, always trying to talk things out instead of fighting. They helped others in trouble, shared technology, and showed great creativity. The Council liked humans. They called them the nice species. On this day, the Council was calm and confident. They did not expect any problems from humans. They believed Earth would follow the rules and keep being peaceful. After all, humans had never caused a serious fight in space. They had only joined the Council recently, and their behavior so far was polite and cooperative. In a small room on Earth, far from the shining stars in the Council's grand hall, a group of humans worked in secret. These people were not diplomats or scientists trying to build better machines for exploration. They were soldiers and engineers gathered around maps and glowing screens. "We can't keep waiting for the Council's permission every time we want to protect ourselves," said Captain Maya, her voice firm but tired. Her eyes looked tired from long nights, but her spirit was strong. "Other species don't always play fair. We have seen their true faces. Being nice hasn't saved us." Around her, the team nodded. They had watched as threats grew near Earth. Pirates from the dark zones, secret weapons built by other governments, and creatures from unknown worlds that no one understood. The universe was changing fast, and Earth needed to be ready. "Today we change our way," said General Kumar, the leader of Earth's defense forces. "We have been kind, but kindness has limits. From now on, we protect ourselves with all our strength. We will not ask for permission to defend our home. We will act." On the other side of the galaxy, the Council continued their meetings. Their chambers buzzed with chatter about trade routes, new laws, and peaceful missions. They spoke of humans as a hopeful example, how one small planet could show the power of kindness. Ambassador Vrax, a tall, blue-skinned being with shining eyes, smiled as he spoke. "Humans are remarkable. In their short time with us, they have taught us many things about cooperation and empathy. Their peaceful nature has brought hope to many worlds." The other members agreed. The Council was proud to count humans among their allies, but no one knew what was quietly happening on Earth. That evening, Captain Maya looked out at the night sky. The stars were the same stars the Council saw, but from Earth, they felt different. They were not just lights in the dark. They were challenges, threats, and mysteries waiting beyond. Maya thought of the stories from old history, wars that had destroyed whole civilizations, leaders who had trusted too much and lost everything. She knew humans were different, but even the kindest could grow strong and fierce if they had to. Her team was ready. They had worked on new weapons and defense systems, not to start a war, but to stop one before it started. They had built stealth ships that could move without being seen, and devices that could protect Earth's orbit. They had trained hard, preparing for the day when the Council's peaceful view might change. On the surface, Earth was still the same planet the Council knew. Cities shone with lights, people went about their lives, and peace was spoken in meetings and news broadcasts. But beneath the surface, humans were learning a new lesson. Sometimes being nice was not enough. Back at the Galactic Council, the day's meetings came to an end. Ambassador Vrax stood beside his colleagues, ready to return to his ship. He glanced at a small screen showing Earth's latest reports. All was calm. All was peaceful. He smiled again. "The humans will always choose peace. They have too much to lose. But deep inside, a small feeling of doubt stirred. He could not say why. Perhaps it was a quiet warning from his instincts, or perhaps it was the first sign of a coming change. No one could imagine what was about to happen. Far from the Council's shining halls, on Earth, Captain Maya and her team prepared their final test. Tonight they would launch a small silent probe toward a distant space station controlled by a hostile faction. It was a message. Humans were no longer just the nice species. They had the power to defend themselves, and if needed, to fight back. The probe moved through space faster than anyone could detect. It reached the enemy station and disabled their weapon systems without firing a single shot. The attack was precise and silent, a warning without bloodshed. For now. The Council's sensors picked up the event. Alarm bells rang in their chambers. For the first time, humans had broken the peaceful pattern. What does this mean? One Council member asked. Have humans changed? Are they still the species we trusted? Ambassador Vrax shook his head slowly. I do not know, but we must watch carefully. The day we thought humans were only nice may be ending. And so, the peaceful assumption of the Galactic Council began to crumble. The galaxy held its breath, waiting to see what the humans would do next. The Galactic Council was shaken. For the first time in its long history, one of its newest members, humanity, had done something unexpected. The silent strike against a hostile space station was a clear signal that humans were no longer just the nice species the Council had admired. They were sending a message. They would fight back, and they would fight hard if needed. Council chambers were filled with voices and confusion. Some members were angry. Others were worried. Why would Earth do this? Asked Elder Thren, a wise but cautious alien with glowing green skin. They have always been peaceful. What has changed? Ambassador Vrax stood quietly. He had known humans well, or so he thought. Something on Earth has changed, he said slowly. We must find out what. Far from the Council, on Earth, the mood was very different. Captain Maya sat with her team, watching reports from the probe's mission. The strike had been a success. The hostile station's weapons were offline. No lives were lost, but the message was clear. Earth was prepared. We've done what we needed to do, Maya said, quietly. Now the Council will have to listen. Her second-in-command, Lieutenant Omar, nodded. Do you think they'll react badly? This could start a war. Maya looked at him with steady eyes. Maybe. But if the Council doesn't understand why we had to do this, then peace was never really possible. On Earth, things were not peaceful. The people knew the galaxy was a dangerous place. Pirates attacked supply ships near Earth's colonies. Secret alien groups worked in the shadows, planning to take control of important resources. Humans had tried to be kind to all these forces. They offered help, shared technology, and tried to negotiate. But kindness did not stop the attacks or the plans. Human leaders met in secure rooms debating the future. We cannot wait for the Council's protection, said General Kumar. We must be ready to defend ourselves no matter what. Others argued, if we act too harshly, we risk angering the galaxy. We need to find a balance. But for many, the balance was lost. The time of endless kindness was ending. Back in the Council chambers, the leaders debated how to respond to Earth's sudden change. Some wanted to punish humans for breaking the peace. Others wanted to send diplomats to understand Earth's new approach. We must send a delegation to Earth immediately, said Ambassador Vrax. We need answers before things get worse. The Council agreed. A small team of envoys, including Vrax himself, prepared to travel to Earth. They hoped to meet with human leaders and find a peaceful way forward. When the envoys arrived on Earth, they were surprised by what they saw. The planet was still the blue and green world they knew, full of life and beauty. But the humans they met were different. They were no longer the simple, friendly people the Council had known. These humans were strong, confident, and ready to defend their home. Ambassador Vrax met with Captain Maya and General Kumar. The humans spoke openly. We are tired of being underestimated, General Kumar said. For too long others have thought kindness made us weak, but kindness is our strength, and when we stop being nice we become unstoppable. Vrax listened carefully. He felt a mix of respect and concern. "Why did you strike without warning?" he asked. Maya replied, "Because waiting almost cost us everything. We can't rely on others to protect us. We protect ourselves." The council envoys reported back, telling their homeworlds about the new human spirit. They spoke of humans' fierce determination, their new weapons, and their readiness to act without hesitation. Some council members began to worry. "Have we created a monster?" whispered Elder Thren. But others saw something different. "Perhaps this is the evolution of a young species," said a wise elder. "To survive, they must grow stronger. Maybe this is the future of peace, not weakness, but strength." Meanwhile, Earth prepared for what might come next. They improved their defenses, trained more soldiers, and built new technology. World united behind the idea that kindness was no longer enough to survive in a dangerous galaxy. Captain Maya stood once more, looking at the stars. "The council watched us when we were nice," she said softly. "Now, they will see what happens." When humans stopped being nice, the galaxy held its breath. The Galactic Council was uneasy. They had sent envoys to Earth and listened to what humans said. The message was clear. Humans were no longer willing to be the nice species the Council had always trusted. Instead, they had changed. They were strong, determined, and ready to protect themselves with whatever it took. Back on Earth, the leaders knew that their new approach was dangerous. They were risking everything: peace, trust, and possibly war. But for the first time in a long time, they felt in control of their future. General Kumar stood in the command center of Earth's main defense base. Around him were screens showing space routes, ships, and potential threats. His face was serious but calm. "Our enemies think we are weak," Kumar said to his officers. "They think kindness means we won't fight. They are wrong." "Captain," Maya stood beside him. "We have worked hard to build defenses and weapons that can protect us. But more than that, we have built something else, a spirit that will not break." The Council watched Earth closely. Reports came in from their spies and scouts. They saw humans training soldiers not just in peacekeeping but in warfare. They saw new ships designed for battle, weapons that could strike fast and hard, and strategies that were clever and ruthless. The Council was surprised. Humans were no longer the species they thought they knew. They were becoming a powerful force. But why? What had changed inside humanity? To find answers, the Council envoys returned to Earth, again. This time they were invited to see more than just the surface. They were shown Earth's hidden military bases, the secret laboratories, and the meeting rooms where the future was planned. Ambassador Vrax walked through one of the secret facilities with Captain Maya. He saw soldiers training with fierce determination, scientists working on advanced technology, and leaders planning strategies with cold focus. "This is not the Earth we knew," Vrax said quietly. Maya nodded. "We have been kind for too long. Our enemies do not respect kindness. They attack, cheat, and lie. We must be ready to face the truth." The Council envoys learned more. Earth faced threats from many sides: pirate groups attacking space, colonies, secret organizations trying to steal resources, and even hostile alien factions watching for weakness. The humans had lived with these dangers for decades. The Council had not fully understood the pressures Earth faced. One evening, Ambassador Vrax asked Maya, "How do you keep your people united in this difficult time?" Maya smiled faintly. "We remember who we are. We are humans. We have survived floods, wars, and disasters. We know kindness is a strength, but sometimes to protect kindness, we must be strong." Vrax nodded. "You are changing the galaxy's idea of humanity." Back at the Galactic Council, the news caused debates. Some members worried that humans would bring war to the galaxy. Others believed humans might bring a new kind of peace, one built on strength and respect. Elder Thren spoke during a meeting. "We must be careful. Humans are powerful, but they are still young. Their anger could destroy everything we have built. But Ambassador Vrax defended humanity. They are not angry for the sake of anger. They fight because they want to survive and protect those they love. Their strength may be the key to lasting peace. On Earth, human scientists were working on new projects. They built ships that could move faster and fight smarter. They created AI systems that learned from every battle. They trained soldiers to be both fighters and diplomats, people who could negotiate or fight depending on what was needed. General Kumar told his team, "We are not looking for war, but we will win if war comes." Captain Maya prepared her squad for the next mission. "We will show the galaxy that humans are not to be underestimated. We will protect our home, no matter what." The council watched with growing respect and caution. The humans were no longer the nice species. They had become a force of nature, fierce and determined. The galaxy waited, unsure of what would come next. Would humans bring war? Or would their new strength bring a new kind of peace? Only time would tell. The message from Earth had spread across the galaxy like a storm. Every planet, station, and species now knew humans were done being polite. They had always been seen as helpful, peaceful, and diplomatic. But after years of being pushed, cheated, and disrespected, something inside them had changed. Now the council was watching them closely. Some were curious, others afraid, and some, still, were foolish. A powerful trade family from the Tavrik Dominion, one of the wealthier council, members had always seen humans as weak. They believed Earth was just noise, all talk, no action. So when they tried to block Earth's supply routes in Sector 7, thinking the humans would complain and do nothing, they made a serious mistake. Within hours of the blockade, Earth's command center responded. General Kumar's voice echoed through the council communication network. "This is not a request. This is not a debate. Remove your ships from Sector 7 within 12 hours. If you do not, we will." The Tavrik Dominion laughed. 12 hours passed. Earth launched Task Force Orion. Captain Maya led the mission. Her ship, the ESS Valiant, was fast, sleek, and deadly. Her crew was trained, disciplined, and ready. They didn't arrive with threats. They arrived with action. Within minutes, Earth's fleet disabled the Tavrik blockade using precision strikes. No loss of life, just pure skill. Tavrik ships were left drifting, helpless, their systems offline. Then, without a word, the Earth fleet left. The message was crystal clear. You started this. We ended it. Next time we won't be so gentle. The council exploded in debate. Some ambassadors were furious. "This is aggression," they shouted. "Earth is becoming dangerous." But others defended humanity. "They warned us," said Ambassador Vrax. "They told us they would not stay silent anymore. You thought they were bluffing. You were wrong." Vrax had seen this coming. He had studied humans for decades. He knew their kindness was deep, but when pushed too far, they did not break. They transformed. Back on Earth, the people stood proud. They had not started a war. They had not fired without reason. But for the first time, they had stood up and said, "Enough." Children in schools watched the news and asked their teachers, "Why were we always so polite before?" The teachers answered, "Because we believed peace could solve everything." And now? Now we still want peace. But we understand. Sometimes to keep peace you must be ready to fight. In the months that followed, Earth's strength grew. They built new ships, they formed new alliances. Small species, long ignored by the council, turned to humans for help. One of them was the Three Lions, a peaceful race living on a forest moon. They had no army, no weapons, only knowledge and art. They came to Earth with a simple request. "We have been attacked 3 times this year by raiders," said their leader. "No one helps us. The council says it's not their problem. Can you help us?" General Kumar did not hesitate. "We'll handle it." Captain Maya led the protection mission. When the raiders arrived, they expected easy prey. They had no idea Earth was waiting. This time, Earth didn't just stop them. They tracked them back to their base and destroyed their entire operation. The three lions were safe. For the first time in years, they could sleep without fear. They sent Earth a gift, a massive sculpture carved from crystal, showing a human standing tall with stars behind them. At its base were the words, kind but powerful, gentle but fearless, friend and protector. Now, even the council was beginning to change. The old powers who used to laugh at humans now watched them with respect, some with fear. The council called for a meeting. At the Great Chamber, General Kumar and Captain Maya stood before them all. The Tavrik ambassador, clearly still bitter, asked sharply, "Do you plan to police the galaxy now? Have you made yourself judge and warrior?" Kumar answered calmly, "No, we do not rule anyone. We protect ourselves, and when others ask for help, like the Three Lions, we give it, because that's who we are." Ambassador Vrax added, "You pushed them, you mocked them, and now they have become what the galaxy needs, not conquerors, not monsters, but a force of balance." Later, as Maya looked out from the council tower, she whispered to herself, "They thought we were too nice. Now they see who we become when we stop being nice." The galaxy was tense. Ever since humans had stopped being the council's nice species, the balance of power had shifted. Earth was no longer quiet, no longer patient. It had become sharp-eyed, fast-moving, and fully prepared. Other civilizations noticed. Some were impressed, some were scared. But one group, a secret faction inside the Galactic Council, saw something else. A threat. They were called the Zorath Bloc, a mix of older species who believed they should always remain in control of the galaxy. To them, humans were growing too fast, speaking too boldly, and standing too tall. That had to be stopped. In a hidden meeting chamber deep inside a council station, the Zorath leaders spoke in hushed tones. "Humans do not understand their place," hissed Lord Kevrix, a tall creature with long, silver limbs. "If we let them grow stronger, they will challenge the old order." "They must be reminded who holds power here," agreed Senator Valik, "before their influence spreads." Their plan was simple and dangerous. Provoke Earth into a mistake, then use that as an excuse to punish them, publicly and with force. A week later, near one of Earth's distant colonies, a disaster struck. A human cargo ship was attacked and destroyed. The crew barely escaped in escape pods. The attackers left no name, no signal, and just damage. The Council's official report said it was a pirate ambush, but Earth's intelligence teams knew better. "They used Zorath tech," said Lieutenant Omar, reviewing the wreckage data. "Only a few species have access to this kind of weapon." "Captain," Maya narrowed her eyes, "it's a trap. They want us to respond with rage so they can blame us for starting a war." General Kumar stood quietly for a moment, then spoke. "Then we respond, but smartly." Earth's answer was not loud or violent. Instead, they launched a silent mission. A group of elite human operatives entered Zorath space with one goal: gather proof. It took 5 days. On the 6th day, the EIDAR humans returned with audio files, secret messages, and surveillance images. It was undeniable. The Zorath Bloc had ordered the attack, and worse, they had planned more. General Kumar brought the evidence straight to the council floor. The next council meeting was different from all others. The room was tense. Every species present could feel the weight of what was coming. General Kumar stood tall. Captain Maya was beside him. Screens lit up behind them, showing evidence piece by piece. "We were attacked," Kumar said, his voice calm. "Not by pirates, but by a secret group within this very council." Gasps filled the hall. The evidence spoke for itself. Recorded voices, maps of planned ambushes, and orders signed by Zorath leaders. Zorath representatives tried to deny it, but the proof was clear. The council exploded with arguments. "This is betrayal," shouted one ambassador. "They wanted war," cried another. Ambassador Vrak stepped forward. He had known humans from the beginning. This is the moment we feared. Not because humans grew strong, but because others feared that strength. He turned toward Kumar and Maya. You did not start this, but you were ready. Maya's voice was firm. We were nice. We were patient. But when pushed, we do not break. We stand. The council voted. The Zorath bloc was removed from power. Their crimes were made public. Many of their leaders were arrested. For the first time in council history, an entire faction had been dismantled by the will of united species, and by the strength of one brave planet, Earth. After the vote, many ambassadors approached Kumar and Maya with respect. You've changed, one said, but maybe that's what we needed. Later that night, Maya stood alone on the balcony of the Earth Embassy on the Council world. She looked up at the stars. We didn't ask for this fight, she whispered, but we finished it. Ambassador Vrax walked up beside her. You've shown us something important, he said. Kindness matters, but so does strength. And humans have both. She gave him a small smile. Now maybe the galaxy will finally listen. News of Earth's victory spread fast. Across distant colonies and faraway planets, young species who, once feared speaking up, now felt brave. Earth had stood tall and had not been crushed. It had uncovered lies, faced danger, and earned respect without starting a war. Humanity was no longer just the kind voice in council meetings. It had become something more, a guardian, a protector, a warning. The message was clear to all. Don't mistake kindness for weakness, because when humans stop being nice and they become unstoppable. The Galactic Council had never faced a moment like this before. The Zorath bloc's fall had shaken the old order, but the galaxy was still far from peaceful. New challenges arose, new dangers lurked beyond the stars. Many species wondered what would come next. Would Earth's growing strength lead to endless conflict? Or would humans use their power to bring a new peace? On Earth, the answer was clear. Captain Maya stood before a crowd of young soldiers. The training ground buzzed with activity. Ships soared overhead and officers moved with purpose. The humans who once believed kindness was enough now knew better. They had become guardians of their home and defenders of peace, no matter the cost. Maya's voice was steady as she spoke. We are not just fighters, she said. We are protectors of what is right. We do not seek war, but we will not fear it. We will stand firm, and when we must, we will fight. The soldiers listened, eyes bright with determination. They were the new generation, ready to face whatever the galaxy threw at them. Meanwhile, in the council chambers, ambassadors debated humanity's future role. Ambassador Vrax addressed the assembly. Humans have shown us something new. Peace, built on strength and truth. We must learn from them. Some species still feared humans, worried about their rapid rise. Others admired them. But one thing was clear. The galaxy could no longer ignore Earth. Far away, beyond the known stars, a new threat stirred. A dark fleet, formed by those who opposed the Council and feared humanity's power, began to gather. They called themselves the Shadow Dominion. Their ships were silent and deadly, their leaders ruthless and cunning. They believed that humans must be stopped before they became unstoppable. Back on Earth, intelligence reports warned of the Dominion's growing strength. General, Kumar studied the maps carefully. This is the real test, he said, not the fights we have faced before. This is the battle for the galaxy's future. Maya nodded. We are ready. We've come too far to turn back now. The first battle came quickly. The Shadow Dominion attacked a remote colony near the edge of known space. The colony was small and poorly defended, but Earth sent reinforcements immediately. Maya led the fleet. The ships moved fast, sleek, and deadly. The humans fought with skill and courage. The battle was fierce, but Earth's forces won. After the fight, Maya looked at the stars. This is only the beginning, she said. The galaxy will test us again and again. But humanity was different now. They did not fight out of hate or fear. They fought to protect, to defend their homes, their families, and the hope of peace. Back on Earth, leaders worked hard to unite more species against the Shadow Dominion. Old enemies set aside grudges. The Council formed a new alliance, led by Earth's strength but built on trust and respect. Ambassador Vrax spoke at the new alliance's first meeting. "We stand together," he said, "not because we are weak, but because we are strong. Together, we will face the darkness and bring light." Years passed. The battles continued, but Earth and its allies held strong. The Shadow Dominion's power was pushed back. The galaxy began to change. No longer was kindness seen as weakness. Strength and kindness walked together, side by side. Humans had shown the galaxy what happens when kindness meets strength. When a species refuses to be weak but never loses its heart. One evening on the Council world, Ambassador Vrax stood looking out at the stars. He thought back to the day humans stopped being just nice. That day changed everything. Now the galaxy was safer, stronger, and more united. He smiled quietly. "The humans taught us the greatest lesson," he whispered. "When you stop being nice and become unstoppable, you change the galaxy."